Hey guys, welcome back to Evony with Genghis on server 68. So exciting day coming up tomorrow. We get the new event, and with that, we get a new general. So here he is. Not sure how to pronounce his name really. Epaminondas. Okay. Anyways, we'll just give up there, and someone can tell me in the comments how to properly pronounce it and correct me. But he looks good. So off first glance, I've analyzed him already, but off first glance, I look at him and I'm like, this guy's good. He may rival Scipio, and Scipio is by far the best up till now. So let's actually take a look at him and see how I analyzed him, and then we'll compare him to the other top ground generals in the game. Another exciting thing for my server actually is in here. It looks like we are getting the Plantagenet gear. If you look here, civilization equipment, looks like we are going to get two items in the cake. So basically, if you want to spend over 2,000 American dollars, you will get both. If you only want to spend about maybe 800, 900, you get one of them, because I believe one is at level 4 on the cake and one is at level 6 if that's the final level. So you have a chance to get a couple of them and go from there. I'm just going to look quickly in my forge as we are talking about that and see if they have the set pieces in there. No, they don't for the Achaemenidae. I feel like I recall there was a attack buff for 2 pieces, so you could work out and end up getting about an extra 40% on your archer attack if you do it. But anyways, let's get back to the generals at hand here, and let's go into our tavern and let's look at them. So Epaminondas, whatever his name is, let's look at him and let's compare. So I have all the numbers written out, as someone does in the comments sometimes tell me I need to have a lesson plan. So rather than just reading it off with you guys, so I do have it just so I can refer back and not have to add it up all the time. But so here he is. And looking at him, he has very good core stats. So just first off the bat here, let's just look at him, and we'll look at Scipio just very quickly. So 110, 115, 113 are the big ones, and they're all around 9 in terms of growth. And we'll look at Scipio, and so they're very similar, 114, 111, 115. And actually, it looks like the new guy does grow quicker, because his leadership grows at 912, I think it was, and his defense grows at 913, and Scipio's attack grows at 861, and the new guy actually grows at 889. So core stat wise, he's very strong. He is stronger than Scipio on core stats, and 14,000 overall, but that's not everything. So anyways, let's dive into his stats. So looking at his military legends, special skill, and then you look at all of these different skills that he has, he ends up with 60% attack, 65% HP, and 10% defense. Now, if we go over to Scipio ends up a bit higher on all this stuff. Scipio ends up 60 attack, which is a tie for the two of them. And then Scipio gets 86 HP compared to 65 on the new guy. And then Scipio gets 36 defense compared to 10 on the new guy. So right there, that tells me Scipio is a little better. But now if we're going to compare, let's look at the other top ground generals that we have in the game, and Karis is one of them. Karis has the highest attack out of all the ground generals, so Karis comes in at 81% on attack, and then only 10% on health points. So he's really trailing there, and then 20 on defense. So I would say that the new guy is better than Karis, and then let's look at the other real top ground general, and that's Trajan, or as the miser likes to say, Trajan. And Trajan, or Trajan, has 61 attack, which is 1% higher than the new guy, Epaminondas, and Scipio. So 61 versus 60 on the two of them. Trajan comes in at 56 health points compared to 65 on the new guy, so 9 less. And then Trajan has 25 defense compared to 10. So looking at that, I would say that the new guy is basically identical to Trajan, except his core stats are arguably better. Very close, tough to argue there. They're both very similar. The other guy, the new guy, will end up with higher attack, probably a little less on defense, and very similar on health points. So I would say that he's very, very close to Trajan, but he does not surpass Scipio. The other new ground general is Alexander, and Alexander, although not as good as Scipio, he just has that special skill that every alliance is going to need one of him, right? That skill to increase the rally capacity. And the best part is it comes on the base skill, so you don't even have to go all the way up to the special skill like you do on Tamirus, the archer general. Everything, it already comes with 15% built in, so that is just awesome for Alexander. So I'm going to say that this new ground general, Epaminondas, kind of ties with Trajan for second place. I still have Karis a little bit behind them in fourth now rather than third, because there's now a tie for second. And Alex, I don't like to count Alexander or Tamirus in the rankings. I just say they're special generals. They're a little bit worse in overall skill, but their rally capacity makes them special and required for an alliance to have, especially when you go up against alliances that just continue to have more and more defense and layers, so you have to fight them all the time. Now, skill books that I would put on the new general, same as every ground general. Basically, I would stick with your classic books, and I'd go with ground speed, and then possibly ground attack or ground HP and ground defense. So I'd probably actually go with ground attack if it's possible to put it on him, and you should be able to put it on him. So I would go ground attack, ground speed, and then ground defense probably. But if you can't put the attack, then I'd put HP and defense on him. But you really can't go wrong with anything. Just I would just make sure to go with the ground speed, and then next priority is ground attack, and then whatever you really choose. People differ on which one they like better, HP or defense. I tend to like defense against bosses, and the reason for that is because if my defense doesn't get exhausted and HP doesn't go down at all, then I don't get a wounded troop against the boss. So I prefer defense. But typically against humans in PvP, I prefer HP because I'd rather my troops have a larger HP, because HP is a bigger number than defense, and I just figure my troops fighting to the death anyways, probably going to die, but he might kill more people along the way with HP. So that's my thinking, my process with the thinking, but it doesn't mean I'm right. Maybe because Evony doesn't tell us the battle mechanics, so we don't really know, but it's all just theorizing. But basically, that's my ranking of him. He kind of ties for second with Trajan now, but nobody compares to Scipio. Scipio still remains probably the most important general in the game because he's just so far ahead of the other ground generals. So if you do get this guy, don't feel bad. He's definitely a good general to have, but I would still kind of hold off on doing his specialties down here and wait and hope you get Scipio. But I understand at a certain point you just have to start developing the general. So this is Genghis, server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.